lives one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
Amen, 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 amen. Welcome, 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 and thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Show on Elation Radio. I am your host, Janelle Lynn. Hallelujah. And special thanks to the lovely Miss Kimmy Kim and Jerry Royce at positivepower21.org. Our topic for today is I'll Steal Your Man. And this topic is a very deep topic, a very interesting, a very juicy topic. as more and more today we see broken homes, and we see situations where promiscuity happens more and more. And a lot of women out here are mothers, grandmothers, their daughters, their sisters, and a lot of women who want to be virtuous women don't have a good example of what a virtuous woman actually is. There are actually mothers out here, grandmothers out here who are encouraging and even raising their children, their daughters, their granddaughters, to go out and steal another woman's man. And so for our topic on today, we have joining us the wonderful, the gorgeous Miss Poetic Sense. Are you here with us this evening?
Hello, hello. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, the beautiful Miss Chanel.
Praise God, praise God, praise God, praise God. And here representing the men for our show on tonight, we have Mr. Q Ellerby. Are you on the show with us on tonight, Q?
I'm right here. I'm in the studio, but I'm here.
Hallelujah. Well, thank you so much, Q. I know you're busy at the studio. Thank you for yes, hallelujah. I'm so glad that you all were able to join in on this discussion on today. And so, without further delay, we're going to just jump right into this topic. Now, I know that you all heard the intro. So, if you need me to, I will repeat it. But, Poetic Sense, do you have any thoughts right now about this topic?
I actually came in, I think, on the tail end of your intro. The part that I did hear was about these mothers and grandmothers who are raising and training their daughters and granddaughters to go and take someone else's man.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what your setup for that was, but let me just say right there. And I don't want to sound too churchy.
That's
but
okay. Be you.
we have a case in point of generational curses.
Okay, now.
And that's what's being transferred over from generation to generation to generation, where it's both a spirit of Jezebel and it's also a spirit of Delilah. They're both being transferred down generation to generation because that curse never got broken in their bloodline. So, I mean, it's more than just a surface thing. It's more than just, she just feeling pretty, she feeling herself. It's more than that. That thing is thing is deeper than that. And for you to actually as a female take on that idea that you are, or that desire, because it's rooted from a desire, which is based on lust and insecurity. So in order for you to take that on, that has to be passed down into you. That is a spirit.
My God. Now you brought it in. You brought it in, the spirit of Jezebel and Delilah. Now, in a brief description, can you describe what those two, and because I feel like it's important for the listeners, especially for the men, to know exactly what these two spirits, if you will, are, and how they operate. And I know Q is probably itching to jump in. We're gonna give you some time to say something, but just give us a brief description. Miss Poetic, real quick
and real brief: deception and manipulation.
Okay.
Deception and manipulation.
And could it be the root cause of all of this? Could it be bitterness? Could it be like the root, or what? You know what I'm saying?
Well, actually, bitterness has a root. Bitterness is only a symptom.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Bitterness is a root of rejection. I mean, it's a symptom from rejection. All of these other things derive from being rejected somewhere, somehow. You never got validated. You never got accepted. You never got loved. You never got appreciated. You never got acknowledged. It's from rejection. Sometimes even as a mother, and I know Q wanna jump in. I'm gonna say this, Q, and then I'm gonna hop off and let you go ahead and chime in. But as a mother, sometimes we actually birth our children into that spirit of rejection while we're carrying them because we're mad at the baby's father because he didn't love us the way that we felt that he should love us. He didn't do for this pregnancy what he did for somebody else's pregnancy that I saw him do or heard about. So that baby already comes in with this seed of rejection in them. So when they actually enter into the earth, they have already entered into the earth with a spirit of rejection placed on them.
All right, Q. All right, Q.
Keep going.
Keep going? Okay. All right. And so I was going to say, because, you just made me think about how we as women, when we carry a child, they the unborn child feels everything that we feel. And it's important that I believe that we learn how to, in a healthy way, deal with the negative emotions that we feel from the situations and circumstances that we go through while even after birthing a child, because we have so many things that go on with our bodies as women after we have a child. We have postpartum depression and everything. And then, if you have a situation like what you just said, Poetic Sense, about, how the baby's father or whatever could have left, or, there could be some jealousy, some envy because he's not treating this baby like he did the other baby and this and that and the third. We could have that on top of postpartum depression. And so I think that we should all seek there's counselors out here. I cannot stress this enough. I mean, every time when I felt overwhelmed by a situation that I could not handle, I always would reach out to a professional counselor, a professional Christian counselor that does not know me personally and does not know the person or people involved in my situation personally. And I would go and I would seek out counseling. It's always good you have to search out for help in any area that you possibly can. You can get prayer and everything else, but by all means, get counseling because it does help. I mean, it helped me throughout my life. I think I've gotten counseling at least a good 3-4 times within my entire life. Q, do you have anything to say? I know Poetic says get ready to say something.
Hi.
Did he just say hi?
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I think the main question is this, because you already collabed on the fact that, right, it's an inheritance, right? It's something that's been inherited, right? So a generational curse, right? So if you already touched on that, I'm going to touch on what happens when it's not a generational curse.
Right.
What happens when the family is doing everything, because, it takes a village to raise a child. What happens when a family is raising that young little girl to a young lady to a woman, right? And she still becomes a person who's going to steal somebody else's husband, right? Where did that come from? It had to come from somewhere. And I'm not sure. What's your name again, ma'am? The one that was on here?
Poetic Sense.
Poetic?
Poetic Sense, yes.
Okay. Yeah. And you touched on it very clearly. You said, you was talking about rejection. The main reason why I believe that a woman will want to steal somebody else's husband or man is the very fact of not necessarily precisely rejection, but because of something missing. in her life.
She could have
what would make a woman want somebody else's man? Is it because that she sees she's around other guys, right? And she can get any man when she wants. But when she looks to her left or to her right, and she sees there is somebody else who's more stable, she doesn't have that stability with her person that she's with now,
right?
Or that she had. So when she sees somebody else who's committed to somebody, that's something that she doesn't have. She doesn't have commitment.
Oh.
So therefore, it triggers in her brain, oh, let me go find somebody who's committed. Oh, instead of me going out looking somewhere else, I'm going to go ahead and be lazy and just go ahead and pick out something that's already there.
Wow.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. The other thing too, when it's a situation where it's not a generational thing, it's not a generational curse, but it's something that is being
taught.
Is being taught or it's being caught. Not necessarily taught, but it's being caught, because it's not necessarily because you do have those females who are not raised like that in a home, who are not, who are the mother is doing everything right, and she does get the ideology of, like you said, that she sees something that she's lacking and that she's missing within herself. Or within a relationship that she may have been in, and she sees that in someone else. I'm a firm believer in mirrors. I believe that what you see in someone else is a reflection of what's in you, good or bad. So what I believe what's being projected is she sees herself in that female. However, in seeing herself in that female, she knows some part of her do desire and deserve that. But it's a ready-made package. So that's not something that she has to actually put in the work to receive.
Wow.
Right.
But she's seen this emulated. She's seen it emulated on television. She's seen it emulated on Facebook. She's seen it emulated in the music. She's seen it, and so she caught that ideology that it's a lot easier, or it may be better for me to go edit this route to receive what I feel I deserve, but I can't get on my own. So she goes after what's not hers.
Wow.
Because that's something that she caught in the atmosphere.
Yeah, and music is definitely very. I think music really does play a huge part in the influence that it has, as far as especially our younger generation, but just people in general. You have songs like, even back in the day, the Clean Up Woman. You know what I'm saying?
Girl, my song, every time we talked about this topic, I kept hearing my jam, because that was my song that I knew, baby. So I knew the words through in and out. I'll Take Your Man by Salt and Pepper.
Yes, I was just thinking about that.
That was, baby, you couldn't sit me down when that song came on. That was my jam.
Yeah. And so I remember what kind of influence it had on my emotions and my thought patterns when I was little. Let me calm down. And so I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about this generation, like my children. What's the song going on nowadays? It's the verse goes something about I can steal her man. I can steal her man. She didn't think I can. She didn't think I can. And I don't even know the name of the song, but that was part of the lyrics that these little girls, teenagers, were singing, And so me as a mother, I know what kind of young ladies I desire to raise. And so I believe that it's important for us as women, as mothers, as grandmothers, to install the correction. First, correct the error, because we see it. You know what I'm saying? If we're at home and everything, and our children are at home, or you know what I'm saying, whenever we're at home, we are very observant as mothers. You know what I'm saying? I'm observant of my children, and so they're singing this song, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Okay, have fun. It's great. Yeah, I like the melody and all of that. That's all good. When the song is over, okay, Let me tell you something. This is not how you are to behave, because it does not feel good when a person steals a woman's man or husband. It does not. You know what I'm saying? And we, the majority, 99.8% of us nowadays we've grown up in broken homes. You know, and I mean, it's just a vicious cycle. It's a spiral. You know what I'm saying? Downward, and it's just it just goes on and on and on and on. And it's like the majority of us know what it feels like to grow up in a broken home. And so why not stop the cycle and install in your daughters the right way to live, the right way to think of that other girl or that other woman like you know what I'm saying? Think about yourself, like you were saying, Poetic Sense. You know what I'm saying? Like you should want for that woman to have peace in her home. You should want for that woman's child to not grow up in a broken home like you did, because you know how hard it was. You know what I'm saying? That's the other element. That's the other element that you have to the puzzle, is that you're also dealing with mothers and grandmothers who have not healed within themselves. Who didn't get that area filled in them. So rather they can't teach from a whole healthy place if they're not there themselves. I can't take you no further than I have gone myself. So all I have to reach back to teach you is that, you know what, it happened to me. Somebody took my man. I'm still mad about it. And they necessarily didn't have to take the man. He could have just left and got with somebody else. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But because that's how she's feeling about herself, then that's what she projectiles onto whatever female is in her presence. Because she is still her. She never got healed within herself. Her identity never came back. She never found her identity. Her heart, the pieces of her soul never came back. She didn't gather herself back together before she started speaking into another female's life, young or old, relative or distant. Yeah, and that's what that whole cycle is a chain. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is that made you a victim. If you don't heal, you become a predator to somebody else. That's it. It doesn't matter what area it is. If you have ever been a victim and you have never gotten healed, you yourself become a predator. And when you are in that stance, you're looking at every situation from hurt eyes instead of healed eyes. So therefore, you cannot see that the other person that's going through what they're going through, you are inflicting that upon them. Jesus.
And with that being said, when you have that kind of mindset happening, and that person who has the mindset of I'm gonna steal your man, they don't have a coach to necessarily show them the straight and narrow way or point to them in the right direction, but they don't have that kind of guidance. All that I can say is the woman who is a virtuous woman, the woman who does have a man, just be that woman to that man, because the women are out there to steal, kill, and destroy. Not necessarily because she is possessed by the devil, but the devil, one thing he has to do is just wave the carrot, and they just hungry enough to grab it and eat it. So with that being said, so with that being said, you have the virtuous women. If you got a man, do everything in your power, not necessarily to hold on to your man, but to be you, to be that wife that man saw you from the first time, because the Bible talks about he that findeth a wife find a good thing. He didn't say anything about he that findeth a girl friend. He said he that findeth a wife. find it a good thing.
Right.
So in other words, that you should automatically be wifey material before you get married or before that person walks up. So you should carry yourself in that fashionable manner because I never forget, man, there's some women that's out there and men had actually said to a woman, you're wifey material, and the woman will say, oh, really? Is that true? Like, what made you say that? I'm not even married. Well, it's the way you carry yourself, right? Men look at that. Men pay attention to that, right? So continue to be that woman. If you're nagging, you're leaving the door wide open for that woman to walk in your house, right? Right? But check this out. Check this out. If you continue to be that woman that God has called you to be, or be that wife that God has called you to be, and that woman comes and steal your man, let him, let him go, because evidently, if you're still doing your part and he still steps out, he wasn't a real man. He wasn't a real man, a person who meets all needs. Man, man.
But he wasn't whole. And he'll end up finding out the grass is not greener on the other side. And then
I was just getting ready to hit that. That's the part that's the other part that that goes right along with what Q is saying. When like the scripture says, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. Now it does not say he that findeth a husband, but it goes both ways. It goes both ways. So if you're not even whole within yourself as a female, and you're able to actually go to a man and take a man away from a woman that he's already in a committed relationship with, you don't even have the identity within yourself to even recognize what it is that you are taking.
Come on, talk about it.
Because if he is a husband and he is in a committed relationship, he is a husband.
That's right.
Yep.
If you invade in that relationship, first of all, not only have you placed yourself in a position to not receive what is truly yours because you have occupied a space that belongs to someone else, even within yourself, but you've also taken something that you didn't have permission, and there's a penalty for that.
Come on.
So now you have set yourself up for an even greater fall than what you were when you was just hurting by yourself.
Woo! Jesus!
Yep.
Because there is a penalty for that.
Come on.
As the new generation say, there's an app for that. There's an app for that.
My God.
There's a penalty for that.
You're going to lose them just how you got them. You're going to lose them.
And that's the other thing, because what made you become visible to him if he's already in a committed relationship? What made you be visible to him wasn't that you were wifey material. You matched the pain, and he recognized, again, his reflection. He recognized his reflection in the mirror and saw you was a hurt soul and he was a hurt soul, so y'all connected in the pain, not in purpose. And when he ever comes out of pain, he's going to want purpose, and he's going to leave you.
My God in heaven.
Yep.
Jesus.
Now check this out. Let's paint the picture a little bit, right? You have a committed couple, right? Let's just go ahead and assume that they're married, a couple who's married, right? Living in the same house. So you got the house, right? You have the relationship, you got the marriage going on. The husband has a good paying job, so they'd be able to take care, meet all the needs of the house, right? And then you have the typical wife who may be a stay-at-home mom, and she may very well be somebody who works, right? Now, here's the thing. Sometimes, and I hate to say this, you guys, but is it a sin for a woman not to work? It's not a sin. If a woman says, honey, I want to quit my job, she did not commit a sin because it's the man's responsibility. But the wife's job is to manage the home. But sometimes it takes two incomes, not income, but incomes to come into that household. So sometimes you may have the wife who's working. But in some cases, the wife who's working more than likely becomes a workaholic. And that husband doesn't get the peace that he needs, because he didn't ask for a mother. He didn't ask for anybody. He didn't ask for to be nurtured. He asked for a wife, right? And so if she's working, chances are you cannot give 100% to something if 80% has already been used up towards your job. Now you give your man 20%, right? It's the law. It's the law of the percentages, right? So now you're working. There's nothing wrong with working. It's just the fact that you have to understand you are a wife first before you are an employee. Okay? All right? Now check this out. So if you have a job and you coming home and you're not doing your job as a wife, or if you're a stay-at-home mom and you're not doing the job as a wife, right? That other woman sees that, right? So you got the man. You have the man who is working, taking care of his responsibilities. He's the perfect gentleman, quote unquote, tall, dark, and handsome kind of guy, and he's doing all of the labor, all of the spiritual work, and the wife is just sitting at home, letting the cat and mouse inside the house, things like that. He's coming home and he's seeing mess. She knows that. She sees that. How does she know? Sometimes the men don't have to say nothing. The men don't have to say nothing. Why? Because God has gifted a woman to be a very observant person. I have seen and heard that women can check out a man from head to toe in a matter of 3 seconds. And it takes a man pretty much, 2 minutes to look at a woman to really fully examine her. But y'all women got to check out a man very, very quickly, right? So because God has given you guys that ability to be able to multitask and all that jazz, right? She sees the downfall or the thing that he is lacking in his life, and the only thing she wants to do is offer him what is missing. Not offer him everything, but offer him what's missing in that household. And that man is not getting anything. It's just like if you leave somebody outside in the cold and somebody is offering you a coat, you're going to take that coat because he's cold. There's only but so long a man can stand outside in the cold and freeze to death. So she is offering him a need that's been met, or that she can meet and help meet a need. That's what she's doing.
That's true. What would you suggest for that woman, that working woman, and that husband to do to keep someone from the outside that's trying to get in and divide?
Communication.
There you go.
Communication. Communication.
A high five, a spiritual high five right there. That is the number
communication.
Now, check this out, ladies. Communication and nagging is two totally different things.
Totally different.
Now, what does the Bible say about a nagging woman? That a man will rather sit. Say what now?
I'm gonna let y'all say.
Well, the Bible says that a man would rather sit on the he'd rather sit on the roof of his house day and night, basically, than to be in the house with a nagging woman. We as women, we can tear down our house. Oh, we can tear up our own house. Another woman wouldn't even have to come in and divide nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the women who are married, who are withholding from their husbands, because it does happen, because you upset, and because he didn't do what you wanted him to do, or he didn't say what you wanted him to. The women who are being very, very unreasonable, with their husbands, need to stop, like for real, because you have no idea what kind of danger you're putting your own marriage in being that way. The Bible says your body is not your own.
Right.
So for you to withhold, your body from your husband, you are biblically incorrect.
Because it's manipulation.
And outside of God's order. Go ahead.
Because that's manipulation. And manipulation is witchcraft.
Yeah.
That's witchcraft. But see, here's something else. Here's something else too to go back to the whole communication thing.
There you go.
Because communication is definitely a two-way street. And a lot of times when it comes to communicating with each other, we typically, even before the marriage start, even just in just regular relationship, before we even get to that point of the I do's, we do not properly learn how to love the person that we're with based upon how they receive love. And a lot of times it's because that individual don't necessarily know how they receive it. They just know they want it and they need it.
Right.
So sometimes that communication is a issue long before the whole symptoms become surface, because that was something that was never really addressed a long time ago. There were flags, but you were so euphorically in love that you overlooked them until you came to an impasse and hell rose. And then you realize, okay, Houston, we have a problem. But when communication, when you have an understanding of, okay, I may love you, I may want to love you in a particular way. That's me. That's my nature. That's my character. But I have to know how to give you love that is of my nature and my character in the flavor that fits your taste buds. Or otherwise, you'll be eating, but your system will say it's still hungry because you're not digesting the love I gave. So
Lord.
a lot of times,
even God said it. He said your worship is like stench to my nostrils, right? It even talks about that. So
right, it's unacceptable because just like the same concept with Cain and Abel. Abel gave God love in the measure that was within him, but he gave God love in the flavor that suited God's taste buds. Whereas Cain came along and gave God love according to what he felt God wanted it. And a lot of times even as wives, a lot of times that's how we love our husbands. We love our husbands. Well, I cooked you dinner. Okay, well, how about he likes to have his dinner plated?
Right.
How about he likes the presentation of it and you actually, serving him and sitting down with him and eating.
Yeah.
But because you cooked it, you felt like that you cooked it and you felt like that was it. That you loved him because you cooked it. Because you cooked what you had a taste for, but you didn't ask him, babe, what you got a taste for tonight?
Yep. But just imagine, ladies, that if you coming home from work, your husband is cooking, right? And you be like, you all excited, right? Oh my God, my man just cooked for me. He said, "Here, baby, I fixed your dinner, right?"
And then he going home and play the game.
When men cook for a woman, it's really from the heart. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I've seen it too many times. If a man is cooking for a woman, it is legitimate from his heart, right? So if he's cooking for that woman and he puts that plate down at the table and he says, "Here, baby, enjoy," and he walks away. Now you done did all that cooking, and you can't even sit down with me and have a meal with me. Now I'm eating by myself. You're gonna feel some type of way.
That's true.
You're gonna feel some type of way.
Very true. Very true.
Unless you have an understanding. Unless you have an understanding.
Yeah.
Because that goes right back to that point. That point right there goes right back to my point that I was making. When you have an understanding and you know that that's all that she needed was for me to cook the meal. I didn't necessarily have to sit down with her because she knows that the sacrifice was in the labor of me actually stopping my day, stopping what I was doing to actually cook the meal, but I'm busy. I got some things that I got to work on. But because I love you and you need to feel my love, I'm going to stop my day and I'm going to fix this meal for you, but I got to go. And she has to sit there and eat that meal, and because she has an understanding of that, she'll be able to sit there by herself and be in hog heaven as if he's sitting right there with her.
I feel you. But let me
now,
tell you,
if she has that understanding.
We have 5 minutes left. And real quick, I want to touch on this particular subject as far as the church, because we have a lot of this going on in the church. As far as I'm talking about pastors who have to deal with the Jezebels and the Delilahs. The women, the first ladies or the co-pastors that have to deal with many women coming in to the church trying to seduce her husband. What are your thoughts about that? Real quick, I'll say this real quick. If you guys are thinking, I'll just give you time to think. But I want to say that women who are of God, who come into the church, I want for the women who and people, they know who they are, and this is never anything to bash anybody, but this is definitely a words of wisdom to help self in self. And so for the women who go into these churches and they are trying to seduce these men of God, not just the pastors, the deacons, the ministers, whatever man of God that's in the church, has a wife or in a relationship that they are potentially trying to get married, and you're trying to ease your way in to try to take this man of God from this woman. I want you to understand the danger that you are in. Not only are you a vessel for the devil, you are allowing yourself to be the tool of confusion and division. You're not just letting your body or just yourself, period, be used by the enemy, but you are also setting yourself up for self-destruction. You're setting yourself up to be, I want to say, to be cursed relationship-wise, because you reap what you sow. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, yeah, definitely. It is that is exactly what they're setting themselves up for. They're setting themselves up to be cursed. Yes. And why there is no sidebar. There is no sugarcoating that right there. That right there, baby, that's a juggler.
My God.
Ain't no sugarcoating that. You coming after a man of God that's in a set place, and you're purposely targeting him. Oh, baby, yes, you are definitely setting yourself up for a curse.
Well, see, here's the thing. She doesn't know that, right? She doesn't know that, even though she is. And here's the thing. In the world, that woman, that Jezebel woman, probably had a thug in her life, and he probably was the main person out of the whole crew, a.k.a. a strong thug. So when she goes to the church, she's looking for the strongest man, not the weakest man.
That's it. That's what Jezebel does. She looks for the anointed man. My God, that's
she's
good.
starting everybody else up. Oh my God, all these men that's in the church, it's 10,000 men in the church. But
you want that one man that's not available.
The pastor as a leader. So let me just go straight to the leader, because he seems to be the strongest one out of all the men in it. I don't want a weak man.
God help in heaven. We are out of time. Oh, my goodness. But that is okay. We are going to continue this conversation live on Facebook. So if you all are listening and you want to continue listening to this discussion, Please find us on Facebook. You can find my page on Facebook, Chanel, Chanel, Lynn, Lynn, Malloyd, Malloyd. And you can also find Poetic Sense. You can find her on Facebook. What's your name on Facebook?
It's Tondra, Tond as in David, R.A. Mosley, Mos as in Sam, Ley.
Awesome. Q, are you going to be with us live on Facebook today?
I will not, but I will be at the studio, but I will be with you guys in
All
the
right,
spirit.
that's fine.
And I know you guys are going to rock the house tonight. But I'm QC.
Yes. So thank you all once again for tuning in to Let's Talk Show right on Elation Radio. We will see you this time next Tuesday faithfully. And thank you for tuning in once again to Let's Talk, where we are changing the world one show at a time. Everybody have a good night.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
That's what I was created for. 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 Not just to live in a house or mansion, not just to drive in a fine fancy car. I just want more than the tangible possessions of this world. For made by the master's hand, I'm a unique design, not just to work every day for a dollar, not to dress for the approval of man. I have the image of my Father and my Savior, for with Him I stand, with Him I will remain. Oh, I was created to worship with my heart, with my heart, my mind, my mind, my soul, my soul. Yeah, I was created to worship. So I worship you. I worship you, Lord. Hey, oh yeah. I was created to worship with my heart, Lord. With my heart, my mind, my soul. I was created to worship. So I worship you. I worship you. I worship you, Lord. I lift my hand. Oh, I was created to worship. Oh, I was created to worship. In the image of God. I was created to worship. I was created to worship. I lift my hands to thee, Lord. You're the King. You're the Lord. I bless your name, Lord. I want to bless your holy name. Hey. Now come on. Just worship the Lord. Come on.